To discuss why Travellers is investing heavily in its in-house claims capability, I'm joined by the Chief Claim Officer Europe, Judy O'Neill. Judy, before we really dig into the detail, can you give us a sense of the scale of the claims resource at Travellers?
Sure. So we link into about 13,000 claim employees worldwide. We have different resources available to us. One is Claim University, where it's a training center for our staff. We also have a state-of-the-art risk control lab, which does a lot of forensic investigations. We have fraud services and tools, again, that we can link into across the world. And probably another example is our Catastrophe Center. So what they do is real-time tracking of weather events or other catastrophes, for example, the California wildfires, which recently happened.
Well, you're mentioning some pretty big resource there and some things that sound pretty much like institutions in their own right. So what exactly does, for example, the Claims University do?
So, like I said, it provides training for our staff. It opened its doors in 2007. Annually, they deliver about 200,000 hours of training. That's both in person and online. We contribute to that from the UK and Ireland. So one of our latest examples is we did a webinar on the Lloyd's market and introduction to the London insurance market. Another great example is our risk control lab. So we recently used them to investigate an aviation accident. They investigated a rotor tail for us. They also have done some cause and origin on property fires that we have had.
So is this actually a space where you might go and set fire to things and then see what happens, how quickly fires, accelerate?
They do, yeah. They do that type of testing. They do testing on metals or products. So recently they did some testing on a sofa, which was supposed to be the cause of a fire. So yeah, all types of testing, both digitally and forensically, and they have equipment that I can't even pronounce.
All of those things you've mentioned, presumably they're based in the US. So how easy is that for UK clients to access?
Collaboration is part of Travellers' DNA. A great example recently was the California wildfires. So the CAT Center lead reached out to me with aerial photographs in real time, and we were able to discern that the UK didn't have a lot of exposure in that area. Another great tool that we use as a result of that collaboration is telematics in cars. So for our accident reconstruction on auto accidents, we're able to access dash cams, smartphone information, the weather, the maps, and all that gets downloaded, and we can see real time what happened at that accident rather than relying on witness testimony. So it's a fantastic opportunity, cuts out a lot of time, and it gives us a lot of data.
You've got all of this resource you can play with, you can invest in. What makes you decide how to allocate that resource?
That's an easy question, I think, because we ask our brokers. They ask their customers. So back in 2019, we did a survey of our brokers, and two things kept coming up. They said speed of service and expertise. So what we did, me and my team, we stepped back and we reorganized our claim department into Central, which is our core claim, and complex claims. So that frees up teams to do those claims that could be handled quickly and more efficiently, and then focusing that expertise on those more complex matters.
How important is it to match the talent with the claim? Or if you're in claims, can you fundamentally deal with any claim?
You would think so, but no. So for example, we are probably the lead insurer in professional indemnity claims for solicitors. So on our staff, we have solicitors who handle those professional indemnity claims. A lot of them have 20 plus years of service. So, and that really makes a difference because the customer or the client knows they're dealing with a solicitor who understands their problems and understands, the nature of the business.
You've mentioned innovation, but how do you keep ahead of the pack? Because you can always be copied. So what would you say you're doing at the moment that really gives you a USP over your peers?
So something I'm really proud of is the establishment of Travellers Legal. We opened a law firm back in 2018. It's to service our professional indemnity clients, so mostly solicitors. Since we opened our doors in 2018, we've handled close to 800 cases, ranging from £5,000 to 30 million. So a second example would be our proactive rehabilitation support service. So we have an in-house nurse who works with injured employees And the main purpose is to get them back to work, because no one wants to be out of work that long. It helps the employee and it helps the employer, who's our customer.
Why do you have this emphasis on, I suppose if I could call it insourcing, when most of the rest of the world seems to be obsessed with outsourcing everything?
Well, these are our customers. So we feel that we've invested in our talent, we've invested in our resource, and our training and our tools. So why would we want to outsource that? We think we do it better. We think we are more cost effective. And we're doing it for the right reason. We're doing it to get the right answer for our customer. We're not doing it for a price or for a profit.
Have you got a concrete example of how this insourcing model, if I can call it that, works to the benefit of brokers and their clients?
Well, it's interesting. We're seeing a trend coming in the UK, something that is common in the US, where the brokers taking themselves out of the chain of claim presentations. So if that trend continues, Travelers is prepared to handle those claims directly with their customers. Instead of outsourcing to a third party for a price, we think we keep it in-house. We can get the right result for our customer.
Well, you covered a lot, but could you give us one other example of how you're looking to enhance the claims experience for customers here in the UK?
Yeah, what I'm really excited about is partnering with Quantum Subro. So it's a Travelers-owned company that really gets on the front foot of claims. So when an accident happens, they're there looking at trying to maximize recoveries from the responsible parties. So it's that being there right when a fire's happening, right when an accident's happening, to find out the cause and find out if there's any third parties or any opportunity to recover from those who should be paying the claim.
We have to leave it there. Judy O'Neill, thank you.
Thank you for your time.